I'm honored to be here, and I want you to know that being a Marine for me was a very important step in my life. And I was a student at the University of Utah, and I became affiliated with the Marine Corps when they needed help after Tarawa, and I was able to be a part of this organization. And then actually, after I was able to be signed up after the University of Utah, the Marine Corps asked me to come be part of them, and from that point on I was part of the United States Marine Corps in Quantico, Virginia, and actually in Quantico, Virginia, I was in the being trained for beginning artillery, and that will be the thrust of my whole talk today, is to be giving you some information as it pertains to why I love the Marine Corps, because of the fact we are proud as a country to be able to have one organization that really stands out and represents the country. And so that would be my saying to you and those of other organizations. We all say thank you for this opportunity.
As a member of the field artillery, your job was to shoot the big guns long distances from far away at the enemy positions. As you went into battle, were you ever scared, and how did you deal with being scared in battle?
You're always scared when you go into battle. It was a wonderful experience for me to have the privilege of being in the action of the field artillery. That was actually the thrust of my major combat experiences. I was a forward observer with the infantry up in front, and we saw the things that needed to be used for howitzers way back down in the trenches. We were able to call for the signals and bring the fire bombs on whatever it was onto the enemy. So it was scary, yes. It was satisfying that we were so successful because we had been trained very severely to be actually in combat, knowing that we were having other people shooting at us.
One of the campaigns that you fought in was Iwo Jima, a very black sand beach. And there's a famous picture, we're going to pull it up here now, of the flag being raised there at Iwo Jima. What memories do you have of fighting at Iwo Jima?
Thank you. Well, our group were a part of the landing craft, and we were actually, as we landed into that big island, there was lots of soot and sand, and our howitzers and our trucks, which were not able to get up toward the mountain, and the mountain, of course, is Mount Cervati. The point is, what I'm referring to is, because of not being able to get our vehicles up where they would be able to be helpful, it was we were just targets, because on the mountain, the enemy were shooting at us. Well, we were very discouraged after 3 or 4 days of the initial campaign, and we were very worried about our successes. But we found that going up, the harder we fought to get up there, we had to go up one by one. We got up to as near to the top as we could and had a detachment that went up onto the actual top of the mountain. And at that top of the mountain, there, referred to in this picture here, you've seen that quite a bit. That group of men who were assigned to do this were able to take the flag and raise it on top of Mount Cherokee with the open opportunity of everybody having a chance to look at it. And when they looked at that flag, and we were so downhearted before, but when we saw that flag, every one of us were cheering and also very thrilled that we had the American flag on top of it looked like it was going to be where we could win. And actually, because of that flag raising, all of the ships that were out waiting to be brought in, the landing craft and the vehicles, all of those were able to, with any horns that they had, honk and honk and honk and cheer and cheer and cheer, because the morale went from being very close to losing the battle. We had a new look on life, and we actually were able then to dive in and actually end up, after there was 31 more days of the island that we still had to go, but that particular day, we were able to see the flag and be motivated, and from that point on, this was a successful experience, and the island of Iwo Jima was one of those things that were important to us because the Japanese needed us to be annihilated so that they could keep us from being winners. And we became very definitely winners of the actual campaigns from that point on. And that was what later became on the island, the B-29s came in, and they were able to be able to take the opportunity to go into Japan and do the bombing.
That is an iconic picture and an iconic battle, so it's quite remarkable that you were there. Grandpa, there are two, in the military, there are two major classes of people. There are officers and there are enlisted soldiers. And Jack has a question about this distinction.
What is the difference between an officer and an enlisted Marine?
Well, I guess it's the background of the training that we received. I've had the privilege of being, when I was at Illinois, these boys here, we had the opportunity to see the flag go up every school day, and we had played the Star Spangled Banner, and we had the other activities, to the point where we had training from high school to university, and in that particular training period, each one of us was being taught more detail and had more responsibility. So I would say that the officers were trained, especially to be officers, to learn how to command, and the enlisted men were one of the people that we counted on to work with us to take the commands and do something with them. And we did so, and because of the work we had between the two of them, we were able to win battles.
Thank you. Here at Legacy, we're studying 7 habits of a happy kid. And there are 7 habits that help to make children happier. And we've prepared some questions as it relates to these principles and your experience in the military. So Jack has a couple questions to ask you about that.
As an officer, how are you proactive?
How are you proactive?
How was I proactive?
As an officer.
Okay. I did an awful lot of training, and I did an awful lot of working with the enlisted men to keep myself physically fit. Proactive, tell me what you want to, or that to proactive to me.
You don't wait for somebody else to tell you what to do.
No, we were at a point where we had to, because of our training, be able to make decisions and make them quickly, and other enlisted men needed the ones that carried them out. And it was an activity that we did, having the enlisted men and the officers working together to accomplish these missions.
One of the other principles is putting first things first. So how did you set goals, and how did you decide what goals to put first? How did you prioritize your actions?
When we had a lot of activity that the enemy was giving us, we had to make decisions as to how we were going to solve the problems. And because of the fact that we all had been trained to handle various phases of the activities, that was when we were able to accomplish what we were after.
How can we best honor veterans like yourself?
Just what you're doing right now. That means an awful lot to all of us. Moms and dads, and you young people. The challenges you have ahead of you are amazing. And knowing that you're in the right place, doing the right thing, and I'm hoping that all of you enjoy the element of the flag, because the flag is so important in my life, because I have the privilege of being part of the flag activity where we declared winning. We did that with the idea in mind of everybody doing their part. And that's what it was, the training we had.
When we were in Washington, D.C., it was pretty remarkable that to be there with my grandfather and see how many people came up to thank him for his service. And so as people came up to thank him, I took videos and pictures of all these people. And so I know that there are other veterans with us here today, and I hope that as we watch this final video, you can also participate in this gratitude for our nation's service. Oh, excuse me, I have a question.
What medal does he have on?
What medal are you wearing?
The University of Utah gave me this a couple of years ago, and it's one that there will be 11 more people who are being honored today at the University of Utah, and I had this experience several years ago, and I was shocked.